Hello everyone, welcome back to a book haul, and many of these books I got from either Book Outlet or Awesome Books, which is the UK online store that sells used and new books. And then I did get about 3 books from Amazon. So yeah, there's some I've been kind of having my eye on for quite a while, and yeah, I did see some used ones on Awesome Books, and I'm so glad I was able to get hold of them. I've been kind of drooling over them for a while. I will start with the books from Amazon, and the first book is from Amelia Hart, and this is called The Sirens, and I'm hoping to read this summer. And she wrote Wayward, which I did read, and I really enjoyed it. It had 3 different timelines, and it followed 3 different women and their struggles. And so this one I think also has 3 timelines: 2019, 1999, and the 1800s. They tried to drown our voices, but the sisterhood of the sea cannot be silenced. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one this summer. And the next book that I did get off of Amazon is the 3rd book in the trilogy, the final book. And this is by Hannah Kaner. This is Faithbreaker. So this is the final book in the series. The first one is God Killer. And just look at that cover. It's just beautiful. I love bunny rabbits. I used to have a rabbit, Oliver, as a pet, and he was litter trained and everything. He was a great little pet. But yeah, I just absolutely love, I think the second book's called Sunbringer, but they had the most gorgeous covers on these. And it's a it is a fantasy, and I think it's called the Fallen Gods trilogy. So yeah, really good series. And then this one I've heard quite a bit about, and everyone's saying it's one of their best books of the year so far. And this is by Nat Cassidy, and he wrote The Nestlings, which I have somewhere. I want to read it this fall. And this is called When the Wolf Comes Home. And so one night a struggling actress finds a 5-year-old runaway hiding in the bushes outside her apartment. After a violent, bloody encounter with the boy's father, she and the boy find themselves running for their lives. So yeah, it's supposed to be a really good book. So yeah, he wrote, like I said, The Nestlings, and then he wrote Mary. So I do have both of these books, which I haven't read yet, so I probably should dig them out and read them. But I might save that for the fall, kind of around October kind of thing, Halloween. All right, and then so there, some of these are from Book Outlet. They had a $7.99 sale, and some of these are from Awesome Books. And the ones from Awesome Books are the used ones, and the ones I did receive are in pretty good shape. For the most part, I've been very happy with their used books and what kind of shape they're in. So. And one thing about Awesome Books, man, the shipping is coming so fast now. It used to be about maybe 11 to 14 days I would get it. They usually ship out either that day that you order it or the next day. And like I said, it used to be 11 to 14 days to get here to Canada from Britain. But lately, man, it's like 5 days and they're here. So they've been getting very quick. So alrighty, this one, where's that other one I got? Oh, these 2 I found on Book Outlet, and I was so happy to find it. I've been eyeing this for a while. I've been looking on Awesome Books to see if I can get a used copy in that, but Book Outlet had it, and it's called The Resurrectionist by A. Ray Dunlop. And look at that cover. It's just... I know most people would look at that and go, ooh, yikes, but yeah, as a retired nurse, anything medical history, I love history, and medical history's even better. So this one, it takes place in Edinburgh, I believe, so it's quite a long synopsis. Oh, that's the inside of the cover. Really, really beautiful. Does this take, yeah, Edinburgh, Scotland in 1828. So a resurrectionist is a very fancy word for a grave robber. And back in the days, medical students could only dissect prisoners who died. Other people were not allowed to be dissected. And so bodies were in short numbers for these students to dissect. So some of these doctors actually paid these resurrectionists to bring them dead bodies, fresh dead bodies, so they could study them. The students could study them. So, so yeah, like I said, this one takes place in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1828, and a young medical student is lured into the illicit underworld of body snatching. Historical fiction, true crime, and romance intertwine in a harrowing tale of murder, greed, and the grisly origins of modern medicine. So yeah, I have actually read a handful of books that sort of revolve around these resurrectionists or body snatchers. I don't know, it's the history, medical history is just so fascinating. And the thing is, even though it's so macabre, the thing is, if these students don't have bodies to dissect, they're not going to learn. So it was very important. So anyway, just a beautiful cover. And then this is TheSpecimens by Mary Kidd. Again, just a gorgeous cover with the gold foiling. And there's a map of Edinburgh. So this also takes place in Edinburgh around resurrectionists or body snatchers, grave robbers. But this one, it follows Burke and Hare. So they're quite infamous. Back in the 1820s, Burke and Hare were arrested because being resurrectionists, of course, they stole these bodies from graves and sold them to the medical doctors. But it was getting harder and harder because a lot of graveyards are putting up security officers, so grave robbers had a much more difficult time robbing these graves of bodies, and a lot of wealthy families would put those iron cages over the graves to prevent anyone from snatching the bodies. So Burke and Hare, these two gentlemen, or men, I wouldn't call them gentlemen, decided that it was much easier just to kill people in their, they rented out rooms and that, and they would kill the people in these rooms and then sell them to the doctors. And they were eventually caught. I don't know if it was maybe 20 people they ended up killing this way. This doesn't particularly follow Burke and Hare, but it follows two women in their lives. So it follows one of the grave robbers' wife, and the other woman they follow is the doctor's wife. And anyway, quite a fascinating story, and just, oh, that cover is just so fetching. Alrighty, and then this one I got used off of Awesome Books, and it's a fairly new release, I think, but it's by Ellie Griffiths, and it's The Frozen People. So Ellie Griffiths has done quite a long series. I think there's like 15 books in the series. I think I'm on number 5 of her series, and it's the Ruth Galloway murder mysteries, which take place on the coast of England. And Ruth Galloway is a forensic archaeologist, and she works with the police to solve murder mysteries, and I really enjoy that series. So this is a new series of hers, and yeah, I love a good map. And So Allie Dawson is a police officer, and she works on frozen cases, and some of these are quite old, some of these cold cases. So what she does is she actually goes back in time to solve old murder mysteries, and she arrives back in London in 1850, and yeah, she solves mysteries in the past. So got fairly good reviews. So time travel books kind of work. Sometimes they don't, so we'll see how this goes. But I do like her other series. And then I also purchased this used on Awesome Books, and it's The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So I've been trying to get hold of this, and I'm glad I got it used in very good shape. Doesn't even look like it's been read. And what happens there? So I think it takes place on a camp, but this young boy goes missing. I think he's a teenager, and he's from a wealthy family, and then 14 years later the teenage daughter goes missing in the same wilderness as her brothers and that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, heard good things about it. And then these two books actually I got from Winners, Marshall's, Home Sense here in Canada, which is TJ Maxx, Home Goods, that sort of thing in the States. And these were $9.99 each for these new hardcovers. And this is Immortal Dark by Tess Garrettson. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it's got these sprayed edges here. No soul can enter without an invitation. And really neat end pages. And I think this is about, this might be about vampires. Yeah, a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. Yeah, it's quite a long synopsis here, but anyway. Yeah, I don't mind a good vampire story if it's done well, and this has gotten fairly good reviews. So yeah, the choices of books at Winners and that is getting pretty good. And oh, this is the other one I got at Winners, The Skeleton Key by Erin Kelly. I thought I bought this when I was in Scotland. I'll have to look back at that video, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so maybe I was just kind of eyeing it. But anyway, yeah, The Skeleton Key. And in a large house in London, two families meet. One person is excited about the revelation he's about to make. The others dread what will happen next. And yeah, it's just about these two families, and I don't know, something explodes anyhow. But anyway, I'm not going to read the whole synopsis, but it did sound quite good. And I think this oh yeah, this is another book I got in Winners Marshall's, A Song to Drown Rivers, and it's got a beautiful sprayed edge, and I do love my sprayed edges. And those are the end pages. And so I think this is based on the legend of Zizi, one of the famous four beauties of ancient China. It's about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds, as the fate of two kingdoms hangs in a delicate balance. And then this one I got off Book Outlet, and oh my gosh, I saw it in Winners Marshalls, but they were charging too much money for it, and I finally saw it in Winners, on Book Outlet, and I was so happy to get it, because it is just an absolutely gorgeous book. And it's called North is the Night by Emily Rath. So that is the cover, and then these are the end pages here. And it's got this beautiful blue foiling. And then there is a second cover, a reversible cover, so you could use this cover or this cover. And yeah, it's just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous copy. And those are the sprayed edges. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's like a work of art. And this is based on a Finnish folklore. So in the depths of the Finnish wilderness, a death goddess attacks their village. Best friends Siri and Aina prove hopeless to stop her from dragging Aina into the mythical underworld. So she goes after her friend and all the challenges of finding her friend. So yeah, just so happy to get my hands on this. Alrighty, and then oh, my leg's gone to sleep. From Awesome Books, I've been watching What Michaela Reads, and she's an English booktuber, and she loves her murder mysteries and thrillers, and she really recommended this one. I think there's 3 books in the series. I was able to find a used copy off Awesome Books, and it's In the Blink of an Eye by Joe Callahan. So I believe this involves AI, and so this police officer, Kat, she's paired with artificially intelligent detective entity, and so her instincts come up against this artificial intelligent detective, and they're just looking into this case, and she's getting help from this AI. But she said it was such a good book, and it's gotten really good reviews, so I'm going to try out the first one. And this is by Francesca de Torres, Salt Blood, and this one I finally saw it used on Awesome Books, so I grabbed it. So this initially takes place in 1685 in Plymouth. A daughter is born as her half-brother is dying. Her mother makes a decision that Mary will become Mark, and she will continue to collect his inheritance money. And so Mary takes on her brother's identity as Mark, and she takes on all these different roles, etc. And yeah, sounds good. And this one I'm going to save for the winter. This is Whiteout, art by R.S. Burnett, and this woman is on a solo Antarctic expedition. I don't know why she's going on a solo one, but okay. But a month ago she lost contact with the base camp. There's no radio, no sat phones, etc. Then she hears on a BBC World Service broadcast that a nuclear strike has supposedly hit the UK, and she's got like 14 days to survive or whatever. But anyway, I thought it would be a good winter read. And then this is The Devil's Breath by Jill Johnson. And this one really sounded quite fascinating. This woman is a botanist. She's a professor of botanical toxicology, and she lives alone in London with her extensive collection of poison plants for company. One day she hears a scream, and the temptation to investigate proves irresistible. And she's drawn into the life of her beautiful neighbor, and anyway, she finds herself entangled in a very complicated web, and her precious garden is vandalized, and someone close to her dies from a toxin, and so she becomes the suspect in this poisoning. So yeah, I thought it was a very interesting and unique kind of synopsis. And this is Where I End by Sophie White, and this is off Book Outlet. So yeah, this one sounds really interesting, and people said it's kind of like a horror stories with the reviews in that. Oh, it's hard to read. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. It's an Irish name. But anyway, she has no friends. She's never gone to school. She's never left the isle off the coast of Ireland, and her mother I think she had a stroke. She's basically bedbound, and then this woman arrives to stay on the island, and then they have just some very, very strange, kind of horrific things happen. But yeah, it's kind of a spooky horror story. So that would be good in the fall. And this is In the Lonely Hours by Shannon Morgan. And yeah, the synopsis and just the cover look very spooky and eerie. So on a small island in a remote corner of northwest Scotland lies Mondrell Castle. And Edwina is shocked to learn a relative she's never heard of has bequeathed the castle to her. And so she goes there with her teenage daughter and finds out that it's home to a multitude of ghosts and that. So, alrighty. Oh, these two books, I think they're the first two. I'm not sure how many's in the series. There's The Vine Witch by Luann Smith and The Conjurer. So this follows these witches. For centuries, the vineyards at Chateau Renard had depended on their vine witches, whose spells helped create the world-renowned wine of this particular valley. And then I think this fellow takes over, and he favors science over superstition, and he doesn't endorse the locals' belief in witches and that sort of thing. So I got the first two books of that. And then Tess Garrettson, I used to read her books many, many years ago. A lot of her initial books were sort of medically based. So, you know, these doctors in the hospital were solving these cases, that sort of thing. But it's been quite a few years. And then she made a series, Rizzoli and Isles, the police detective and a coroner, I believe. And I think the TV series was made based on those two characters. So yeah, I have read quite a few of her books in the past, but this is, I guess, a new series that she's doing, and this is called The Spy Coast. So Maggie Bird is many things: a chicken farmer, a neighbor, an average retiree living in the seaside town of Purity. But she's also been a spy in the past, and someone has left a body in her driveway, and she knows it's a calling card from her past, so she helps solve the mystery. And this is The Last Witch in Edinburgh by Marielle Thompson. And yeah, any historical novel from Edinburgh, I just eat them up. Sorry, just had to change my battery. But yeah, anything that takes place in Edinburgh, I just love it. So in 1820, so this is an alternate Edinburgh in 1824. So every woman lives in fear that she'll be the next one hanged for witchcraft. So Nellie keeps to herself until she encounters the Ray Woman's apothecary. And they provide cures and teach others. And then, yeah, obviously, at some point, it's quite a long synopsis, at some point she's probably accused of being a witch. But anyway, yeah, anything witchy, Edinburgh, I'm there. And this is A Trinket for the Taking by Victoria Lowry. And it got a little chewed up, but it's not a big deal. So this is a mystery series debut, and it follows Dovey Van Dalen, and I guess she's immortal, basically. Yeah, she's 200 years old, and yeah, she's just lived that long, and I don't know, it's a murder mystery, so I'm just going to go in blind and have fun with it. And what's next? This is Welcome to the Hunam Bookshop by Huang Bo Room. I'm probably absolutely butchering this. But this is a cozy Korean story, and I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she's supposed to go to university and get a job and everything like that. So anyway, this woman decides just to open a bookshop, and it follows all her customers and all their different personalities, and yeah, it's supposed to be just very, very cozy. It says it's a runaway Korean sensation. So, and then so I've heard quite a lot about this one. This is by a Japanese author, and this is called Strange Pictures, and this was off Book Outlet. I think it's still on Book Outlet, by Uksu, and I believe it's structured around 9 childlike drawings, every one holding a disturbing clue. This novel invites readers to piece together the harrowing truth behind each and the overarching backstory that connects them all. So, yeah, it's the story is just interspersed with all these different pictures. That's all I know about it. I'm just going to go in, have a good time. And these 3 books got off Book Outlet. I got the first 3 books, and I love anything that takes place in Scotland. And these are sort of cozy murder mysteries. And the first one is Murder in a Scottish Yorkshire, Murder in a Scottish Garden, and Murder in a Scottish Social. And this follows Paisley, who's a single mom, and she opens up this yarn shop, and then one of the people that she works with is found dead in her apartment, but they find out it's probably murder. So yeah, when I went to Scotland, I actually brought back a couple of hand-knitted Scottish sheep wool sweaters. And this is The Forgiving Kind by Donna Eberhardt, signed copy. This is off Book Outlet also. There's her signature. And so this takes place in the 1950s in North Carolina, and it follows a 12-year-old girl who works on a cotton farm, and everything that her father ends up passing away, and all the challenges and everything that they go through. And this is a new series I'm going to try by Leslie McAvoy, The Murder Mile. And what kind of appealed to me was one of the characters in here is a forensic psychologist. And yeah, she works with the police. So forensic archaeologist, forensic psychologist working with the police, that kind of thing I really do like reading about. So, oh, I'm not too hot. Or my camera was too hot, and so am I. So during their final session, Joe, the forensic psychologist, unearthed a chilling alternate personality claiming to be the reincarnation of Jack the Ripper shortly after her patient is murdered. But if Jack is just a figment of her damaged mind, who killed her? So yeah, a series of murders occurs that replicate the Ripper's murders, and she is brought into the police investigation to profile their killer. So yeah, if I like this one, I'm definitely going to be ordering more. I just love that kind of synopsis. And this one's supposed to be quite funny, by Alexander Potter, One Good Thing. So Liv Brooks is just going through a divorce, so she leaves her busy life in London for Crumbling Cottage in the Yorkshire Dales, and she meets a lot of eccentric people in the village, and it's supposed to be funny and humorous and heartwarming, I guess. So yeah, that'll be good for a little break from these more heavy-duty kind of books. And the last one is A Case of the Missing Maid by Rob Osler. and this follows Harriet, and she's 21. She doesn't want to do the conventional thing of getting married and having kids. She has a younger brother she needs to look after. So she ends up being hired by this Prescott agency, and she becomes a detective in Chicago. So yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So, okay, that's it before this camera just gives up and passes away on me. So I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I just wish I could read faster than I do, but anyway, if I read too fast, I just don't absorb it too well. But yeah, there's just so many good books out there. So I hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these, let me know. And take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.